Meanwhile, this Oklahoma State University facing a lawsuit for allegedly implementing policies that suppress and punish students for speaking freely on political and social issues. The group Speech First filing a lawsuit against OSU, challenging 3 of the school's speech policies they claim are designed to chill and silence student speech. The lawsuit stating this: Oklahoma State and its officials have created a series of rules and regulation that deter, suppress, and punish speech about the political and social issues of the day. And these restrictions disregarded decades of precedent. Cherise Trump is the executive director of Speech First, which is behind the lawsuit. Cherise, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate that. So if you can, tell the viewers a little bit about this lawsuit. OSU, not a small school. How did the controversy come to light at this moment, obviously now on a national level?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, first of all. So we sued the Oklahoma State University on behalf of our student members who came to us letting us know that there were some policies on their campus that they believed violated their free speech rights. And so as we took a closer look, we realized there are actually 3 policies: their harassment policy, their computer use policy, as well as their bias reporting system that they have on their campus. So the harassment policy actually states that any language that is considered to be intimidating, abusive, or to threaten someone's mental health can actually be considered harassment according to the university. Now, keep in mind, these are very subjective and overbroad definitions. Students don't actually know what the university means when you say something can affect someone's mental health, because in a day of microaggressions and where words are violence, how can we know, how can a student know if what they're saying is actually offending someone to the point where they think it hurts their mental health? So that is a concern for students as well, because they just don't know what they're allowed to say.
So essentially, the university could cherry pick what someone says and then take action. Is that correct?
Yeah, when you ask yourself why these policies are so broad, it's because they can be applied to basically anything, or having an opinion or an idea or a thought. And the university, like you just said, can cherry pick who they enforce these policies against. So the computer use policy, for example, states that students are not allowed to send emails that has anything to do with political campaigning. But what does that mean to a student, right? If you're trying to set up a watch event for maybe a campaign debate, does that mean that you are going to lose access to your email? Does that mean that you can no longer send emails to your fellow students if you want to send an invite for college Republicans or college Democrats?
Yeah.
So this is also something that, again, is very overbroad. It is a violation of the students' First Amendment rights when they don't know what they can say, because what they're going to do is actually censor and chill their speech. They're going to stop speaking up.
Is it all-encompassing of all political viewpoints, or does this target conservative voices?
We've seen incidents on both sides where students have been reported. So I mentioned earlier the bias reporting system, and this is one of the most nefarious of the policies, because it actually asks students to report anonymously on one another on incidents of bias, right? And the university defines bias as anything that's a disproportionate weight in favor of or against an idea or a thing, usually in a way that is closed-minded or unfair. So that means having an opinion, right? It states specifically that these comments can be in class, they can be in writing, and they can also be just, using someone's incorrect pronoun, for example. So oftentimes the students who are at the butt of these policies are going to be the conservative students, because their opinions and their ideas are the least popular on campus. And when the university is asking students to report on one another for things that they disagree with, who do you think is going to be the one doing the reporting?
Very interesting. Continue to follow that. Cherise Trump, no relation to President Trump or any of the Trump family. Cherise, thank you so much. Appreciate it.